Look at that. That's some naming right there. I don't know if you can see it very well, but nonetheless, this is an email, a promotional email from a fundraiser who is sending it directly to the Epstein organization and basically begging him to donate, to be introduced to be pulled into the circle so Hakeem Jeffries can be associated with Jeffrey Epstein. And this was in
Brooklyn's Barack.
2013.
Brooklyn's Barack. He is a staunch
Brooklyn's
supporter
Barack.
of President Obama.
I mean, check that out, folks.
Oh, look, they're talking about the fundraisers for the DCCC. Oh, who else got money from Epstein for the DCCC? Because they had a $250,000 per person in the DCCC that they had to raise, and they gave $30,000, and then they said no, we can't. The DCC took it and said no, we can't take this. Uh-oh.
Wait, no, it's this one.
What's this?
Well, this is, I mean, Stacey Plaskett, because there's all kinds of goodies about Stacey Plaskett in here. So do you want to kind of tell us what's going on here in this court docket, in this case?
Sure. Yeah, there was a lawsuit that was filed in New York against the government of the U.S. Virgin Islands and I think the United States government and Stacey Plaskett herself. And it ended up that they said that there wasn't jurisdiction for any of the defendants other than Stacey Plaskett. So the plaintiffs ended up dropping, and the plaintiffs were victims. They ended up dropping the case against everyone because they said that Stacey Plaskett on her own couldn't pay. It wasn't worth the money to go forward because they weren't going to get anything out of it. But yeah, there's $300 million in tax helping Epstein. Go ahead.
So let's kind of start at the beginning of Stacey Plaskett because this isn't the first time. So Stacey Plaskett's name shows up quite a bit in the latest dump.
Well, who's Stacey Plaskett? I think first of all, we need to define who Stacey Plaskett is, because I don't know if a lot of people know.
Plaskett is the congresswoman from the U.S. Virgin Islands. I think is she a non-voting member? Is that how that works in the Virgin Islands?
Non-voting member, right?
And Stacey Plaskett, I mean, as you all probably know, Epstein Island is actually part of the Virgin Islands, and Epstein was one of the original financiers of her campaigns, and continued to be all the way up into 2018, if I'm not mistaken. SK, 2018.
He was arrested in 2019.
Yeah. So here we have an email that came out, and this is from 2014. And this is from a Cecile de Jong. Now, this, by the way, is the first lady of the governor of the Virgin Islands, or mayor, or what I think it's probably the governor of the Virgin Islands. And Cecile is basically begging Jeffrey Epstein to help fund the campaign of Stacey Plaskett to get her elected to Congress, because Sean Malone, who's the current Senate president, is running against her in the Democrat primary in August. Sean is the one who came after you in the Senate hearing last week, you being Jeffrey Epstein. He is nasty and needs to be defeated, and we would have a friend in Stacey. Since this is a federal election, only personal contributions up to $2,600 per person can be given. She needs to raise $75,000 between now and August. Do you think any of your friends could give to her campaign? So that's the first lady of the U.S. Virgin Islands back in 2013, who, by the way, in that exact same case that SK was just describing, was a named defendant because she stayed in one of Epstein's apartments in New York for a month in 2017, nearly a decade after Epstein completed his prison sentence for soliciting minors for prostitution, in order to advise and assist him in securing the U.S. Virgin Islands cooperation as a safe harbor for his sex trafficking ring.
So wait,
did I just hear that correctly?
So wait,
yep, that's the complaint. That's from the complaint.
So wait, so just a reminder, is this before he spent time in jail for being a P3DO, or is this after he spent time in jail?
It's a decade after.
This is after. This